All right, we're coming towards the end here. So our second to last category is going to be for Best Director. The nominees are Adam McKay for The Big Short, George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, Alejandro Iñárritu for The Revenant. What? Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. It's called pronunciation, but you can learn some. Lenny Abramson for The Room, and Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. So, Brian, start us off. We know you can't pronounce his name, but...
I can pronounce George Miller, and that's who's going to win. So, that's who I want, and that's who I think will win this. That movie, even there isn't much story. Like, there isn't much story. There isn't much story in The Revenant either. I'm sure we can argue about that. It's a movie... Both these movies are so similar, it's ridiculous. They're both about revenge. What else is there in The Revenant?
The Revenant... Mad Max is remaking Road Warrior. Fury Road is the same as Road Warrior.
Have you seen Road Warrior?
Yes, I have seen Road Warrior. Let me see. Wait, is it Mad Max helps some people escape from some other people and then go back to the area where they were coming from? That's Fury Road. It's the same movie. It's the same exact movie. They remade their own movie before.
And the movie like The Departed was a ripoff of a movie that got remade and was a remake of a movie in the 1970s and won Best Picture.
It was an Asian film. No one saw it in this country.
Still wasn't original, and it won.
Mad Max Road Warrior was released in this country.
It's a good fight for me.
And that was part of the same franchise.
Doesn't matter.
With the same, the same director.
Still a movie that was made. But yes, George Miller is winning this. I think I can't do it.
It's a good thing that they're not going to make
the Revenant guy. That opening scene was shot great. I thought it was really good, but the movie is about revenge.
Kind of like Mad Max.
Yes, yeah, it is. Very, very, very similar. But George Miller is taking this, the way that it was shot, that it was made, it took him forever. Wasn't much special effects. It was mostly real, just the time and effort put into it. I don't see how he's not taking this award home.
Chris?
All right, well, I'm going to disagree with Brian on this one. I think it's Alejandro for The Revenant, hands down. I mean, Spotlight's been getting a lot of spotlight, but that's for the movie itself. This is for director, so I think it's going to be Alejandro.
Actually, I'm going to disagree slightly on the McCarthy Spotlight reference, because I actually think if anyone is going to win that isn't Alejandro Iñárritu, it would be Tom McCarthy, because to take content from a movie like Spotlight, now I want The Revenant to win, but I think Spotlight actually could come out of nowhere and take this, because to take that content, not only is it dark, it's pretty depressing, but then essentially this is a news story, and to make that a compelling movie, that takes the hand of a great director. And Tom McCarthy does that to keep that plot and the story flowing, to make you care about some of these characters. He does a great job. Better than George Miller does. He films the action sequences great, but there's no content to that movie. It's a long music video. I've seen music videos on MTV. That's essentially what this is. It's a really high-paced thrill ride of an action movie. And he does a great job directing the action, but he can't actually make you care about any of the events that are happening, which is what we'll get into in the next category. It's going to be The Revenant. By the way, it's not just revenge. There are side characters that you do meet up with along the lines, and to make you care about their story with Will Poulter and Tom Hardy and that back and forth, and Donald Gleason, unlike Mad Max, where you're focusing on one entire thing the entire time, one chase where every character is involved, this takes those side stories, blends them well seamlessly, and makes you care about the overall picture, not just one long action sequence.
And are you ready for this? This is why George Miller is going to win. Mad Max is, yes, an action movie, but the story, there is a little story, but it is so involved in the action that they combine the action and the story so well, and there is very little dialogue, yet you read so much from Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, just their eye contact, and the way that these two do care about each other.
They hated each other, and you can see it in their eyes.
They do hate each other.
And you can see it.
And then they do learn to like each other, just pretty much of eye contact and their body chemistry.
They still hate each other in real life.
Tom Hardy is a person who wants nothing to do with anybody. Real life has nothing to do with the movie.
You can see it in their eyes.
Again, more reason for acting. That's perfect. But just the character in the movie, the way that Tom Hardy wants nothing to do with anybody and starts to care about Charlize Theron's character, wants her to live, and just starts to care about her, is just perfect with that little dialogue. But unless you want to be bored with a 2.5-hour movie with The Revenant, which some parts are good, but if that wins Best Director, then we need to make a bet.
There was more dialogue.
I'm willing to make a bet on this one. We need to make a bet.
We will make a bet.
We need to make a
there
bet.
was more dialogue in The Artist than in Mad Max. There was more quality dialogue in The Artist than in Mad Max Fury Road. That's all I have to say about it.
You can connect more in Mad Max. Just the eye acting is rare.
There's nothing to connect. You don't even have to connect two. There's one dot to connect. They go here, they go back there. You just retrace your line.
From someone who loves Transformers. Or Splice!
What? I don't love either of those.
Really?
Yes.
You would have bought Bridesmaids for $3, would you?
No, I didn't.
You wouldn't? Oh, interesting.
No, I
wouldn't.
You
bought Splice?
Because I hadn't seen it.
No! What?
I hadn't seen it in theaters. You think I would have bought it if I'd seen it beforehand? No.
I'm done.
Anyway.
George Miller.
I think it's Alejandro.
Iñárritu for the win.
Birdman was overrated.
This
movie. Gravity was overrated.
All right, tell us what you think.